Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fallen London. We are going to continue with December's exceptional story, Por una Cabeza, and we are going to go to the Mollusca Tour de London. What a day for a race. Hangman's Arch hasn't seen a crowd like this since Jacka Smiles was hanged for the third time. Flashbulbs popping, bugles blowing, a meter, tulips and enormous hats. All the slugs are waiting at their starting gates. There's the Zahir, gloriously glistening. The Zetholocacalox, also glistening. The Rattus Faber jockey sits atop Rodent's Revenge, adjusting his paw in his tiny stirrups. So let's listen for the starting pistol. An official raises a blank handgun into the air. Bang! The crowd roars, hats fly into the sky, hanged criminals dangling from the arch twist their heads to watch the slugs pass underneath. The crowd continues to roar, hats are fetched and flung skyward again. The hanged criminals rest their heads in their nooses, grateful on this singular occasion for the neck support. They're going to be watching those slugs pass underneath for a while. So they're all on the move. Slug Central, everyone in London is enamoured with the race. And if they're not, they clearly have misplaced priorities. Paupers in flophouses, aristocrats in clubs. They even say the traitor empress glanced, not once, but twice, into the hopping post to check the latest odds. Let's read the racing schedule. Off to a vigorous start, gliding beneath Hangman's Arch to commence their contest, just like great steamships cutting through waves in the ocean to start a voyage, with the waves being understood, dear reader, as representing mucus, and the ocean likewise understood as representing mucus. We can expect the slugs to advance through Vale Garden, where they shall doubtlessly meet cheering throngs as they plunge forward, excreting more mucus. Oh, the Vale Garden. Okay, we need to go to Vale Garden. Oh, have we already investigated them? Okay. All the parties involved in this race have their peculiarities. You might investigate them in order to publish an expose. You might simply learn what you can do to make an informed gamble, or you might discover secrets with more subtle applications. Let's investigate the Rattus Faber. Your lodgings are, in fact, the perfect place to investigate, precisely because those LBs left such a mess behind. Didn't some great detective say you could read a person's secrets in the orange pips, or whatnot they toss in a bin? And you certainly have enough rubbish to sort through for clues. Of course, it would help to have more hands to sort the rubbish. Hands belonging to persons who know something about rodents. Rodentologists who make house calls. In other words, you're certain the esteemed professionals of the Department of Menace Eradication will oblige. I need to go to my lodgings. Snooping for dirt on the Rattus Faber. This doesn't seem like what I should be doing if I want them to win, but let's just carry on. Your lodgings are in an abominable state. Stuffing pulled from furniture, crackers strewn everywhere, underclothes tangled about lamps, unbalanced checkbooks. It was most definitely the Rattus Faber jockey and his companions who did all this. Most definitely. Now that the jockey is busy with the race, you can search through his scattered belongings at your leisure. There's got to be something valuable in so much utterly worthless dross. How much do they want? They need 10 wine, hire rat catchers to lend assistance. The Department of Menace Eradication employees are experts on all things Rattus. Gentlemen, what are you doing picking through the department's rubbish heap? Oh, eating rancid sardines and binge rat corpses. What is the department paying these fine fellows if they can't afford something with more nourishment? Like a bottle of wine. You've got a job that might interest them, and you'll pay them with bottles of wine. The rat catchers are initially confused when you say they won't need to kill rats. Instead, they'll be sorting through even more rubbish to find evidence. They roll up their sleeves and start licking their lips avidly. Okay. So we can search the rubbish. One rat's rubbish is another's... Oh, you know the saying. That's not precisely how the saying goes. Still, the menace eradicators may as well dispose of those half-eaten cheese rinds, that black tomato, and the assorted cockroaches that scatter from beneath your furniture. You look away as they dip a mouldy crust into their wine, and happen to spot a newspaper clipping they've unearthed from the debris. This is from last year's Mollusca Tour de London, and here's another from the year before that, and another year, and another. No matter which year you're reading about, the winning slug has always hailed from the villa stables. Okay, well, let's sort through the mail. A post rat has been delivering letters addressed to the jockey. Perhaps the menace eradicators aren't completely literate, but the Rattus Faber jockey keeps such an impressive correspondence that they're invaluable for sorting the envelopes. These were written by rats, tiny handwriting, neat as a pin. These were written by people. Neat isn't applicable. They come from admirers, critics, columnists pleading for interviews. This one is from a guinea pig who wants to be a jockey too. And what's this? An envelope covered in slime? Residue from a slug, you would assume. Until one eradication officer nibbles the sheet to taste it. No, rubbery slime. Ooh. Well, let's pry up the floorboards. You already know there's a rodent's nest there. Gracious, but this nest is more extensive than you remember. There are little hatbox stalls in which the rodents keep their racing slugs. There are slime trails that slugs left behind. There's that missing epergne your aunt sent you. Hideous thing. The menace eradicators can just put it back under the floorboards if they wouldn't mind. But even after hours rolling up carpets and levering wood, you've still not reached the end. These networks simply keep going. Into the walls, you suspect. Okay, well, we're gonna have to dismantle the walls. This is my house. There's more where this rubbish came from. You won't stop until you've found it all. Oh boy. How much space do you have in your walls? An avalanche cascades onto the floor. Gnawed candlesticks, rodent-sized tables and chairs, hairballs that could survive a wig maker for a decade, or service a wig maker for a decade. Rotten lettuce, tattered maps, empty cracker boxes, amber nodules that bounce and scatter like possessed marbles. Amber nodules? Since when have rats been known to stockpile these? And this lettuce has caught an eradication officer's attention. He's trembling, the poor fellow, telling you to take it away, take it away. Some people dislike vegetables, but this is rather extreme reaction. So this amber makes me think that they're working with the rubbery man. Well, now the rats have really made a mess. Just look at these heaping piles. Thankfully, you still have the menace eradicators to eat and to organize this trash. They are prodding the lettuce with their hunting knives, revealed to discover it's normal lettuce. You dig through the nest in the wall, uncovering even more amber in slime-soaked paper. Well, the lettuce must be from the garden of the villa. But then, why would the rodents hoard something that the rubbery men covered? Amber isn't something the eradicators find in most rat holes, but here, look at the sheets wrapped around the amber. They unroll them across your floor. Why, these are maps. You recognize the streets. This is a route for the Mollusca Tour de London. Oh no, you're mistaken. The eradication officers point out spots where streets wouldn't exist. These are Rattus Faber tunnels, but some do indeed correspond to streets near Spite. It would seem the maps were employed as gift wrapping paper for the amber. Perhaps you know a rubbery man who would give these rodents a present, or vice versa. Has the Rattus Faber jockey been in contact with the rubbery racer? Well, let's consult these men about the lettuce. What are they mumbling about? An old assignment involving lettuce? Not lettuce like this. Much bigger. Went wild one night in a garden on Ladybones Road. Started blooming too fast. Climbing over the walls. Elder continent lettuce. If they had to guess, probably smuggled through Port Carnelian. Just like a spoiled socialite to try growing it here. Leave it to the department to mop up her mess. What they don't understand is, how did she grow it? In this climate. At least they had a good dinner that day, even if the salads didn't keep crawling off their plates. And a few eradication offers still suffer the occasional panic attack. How interesting. Well, let's permit them to organize things. It will be more convenient than hiring a maid. They thank you kindly as they belch, stumbling back to the street, arms around each other's shoulders, hoisting the wine bottles that you've given them. What are they singing? An old rat catcher's tune? About always finding more rats around the next pantry corner. Around the pantry corner? One last spot you didn't think to check. And what do you discover, hidden inside a nibbled biscuit box? An extensive, if miniature volume, meticulously plotted in a rodent's handwriting, detailing Mollusca gargantua breeding schedules. There's more slime on this little book, although you now sincerely doubt it's from a slug. Ooh, how interesting. What? Let's visit the villa. Can we talk? The rubbery mum's in the sleigh, right? The stables, right? No, he wasn't. Okay, was he in the balcony? Nope. Nope, we can't actually do anything here. Okay. Oh, we'll visit the garden. Play roulette? You have a 0% chance of winning the game. Huh. Don't say you dislike the odds. Remember what I told you about the odds not mattering? Yeah, sure, let's play roulette. Well, says Donna Villa, watching the ball bounce onto her number. I said that the odds didn't matter for me. She pulls with more force, much more force, than one usually requires to retrieve a ball from a roulette wheel. Bloody hell, is that thing magnetized? This might feel like a loss, but it's not. It's a lesson about what it takes to win. Do you think the referee from Buenos Aires climbed to the pinnacle of this city's high society by playing fair? She slipped something into your pocket. Roulette is easy. London is more difficult. Well, she's basically admitted that she likes cheating at this point. So we need to go... Watchmaker's Hill, was it? Oh no, I can't remember. Ah, not here. Damn it, Slug Central. Reading schedule... Vale Garden. Close. Close. Vale Garden. Here we go. The Mollusca Tour de London, Day 3. Here come the slugs racing right down the street. And here they keep coming. Maybe you'll pop into the Singing Mandrake for a drink. Or stop by Elderwick to purchase a new novel. You could probably finish the novel before these slugs round the next bend. Once you've advanced the race in progress to 3 and snooping for a scoop to 10, the Mollusca Tour de London will proceed to its second leg. We could watch the race. Londoners have gathered along the racing route to cheer. This will advance the race without cheating. Or we could cheat. Nothing is more effective than salt at inhibiting slugs. I am so unhappy that I don't have a ridiculous hat. I'd like to promenade with other spectators. Can I buy a hat? This is slightly... How much is a ridiculous hat? I'm guessing you can't buy... Oh wait, no. Hey! Let's go. I'm gonna buy... I bought myself a ridiculous hat. Yeah, here we go. The heights of fashion. Oh really? It's nothing. Just some old thing you picked up at the shops. But it does look marvellous, doesn't it? And you look marvellous in it. Of course you wouldn't mind standing for a photograph to grace the morning papers. Not the tiniest bit. As long as the photographer is quick about setting up their camera. Your neck's starting to hurt. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right, well, I am not the kind of man who'll cheat, so let's just watch the race. Ooh, Zahir is falling behind. The Rattus Faber jockey is hunched forward in his saddle. Teeth gritted, paws gripping his reins, as other rats stand around his slug, fanning them both with newspapers, and occasionally offering the jockey an anip de julep. He gulps one down, and wipes his whiskers, exhaling with a loud "Ah!" before asking the rats if they happen to have a biscuit. And they search amongst themselves. The jockey crosses his arms. His slug has moved a full metre by now. I guess we could watch the race again. Oh. The rubbery slug is catching up here. Don't count on the Zahir to stay in one place too long, just when you think you found a convenient landmark to use. Oh yes, the Parlour of Virtue, 2 streets past the racing slug. The Zahir is on the move! Where in the world did that thoroughbred go? Blinked and missed it, didn't you? Now you have to update your mental map in order to provide accurate directions again. Oh yes, the Parlour of Virtue, 3 streets past that slug. I get a feeling that someone is going to be using these little tunnels, but let's watch the race again. Poets at the Café Aubrey are watching through the windows, gambling with one another about who can compose the best verse celebrating the race. They've drawn lots to determine which poet will write about which slug. One is kneeling outside in the street, screaming and tearing his hair and his pages apart. Poor man. Other poet says, when you join them to watch the slugs pass, can't figure out what would scan with Zletholoax catalax. I'll get that down, I'm telling you. I'll do it eventually, I'll read it, it'll be fine. Oh, okay, here's the final one. If you haven't yet stopped by the villa during this leg, I mean, I have, but I'm going to again just in case. To the fire, to the gun. We've played roulette. Have we sampled the lettuce? Ignore the fact that I'm beaten to a pulp. Listen to the music. Manic prayer. Oh, gossip with the guests. The noted orchid grower isn't here to lend anyone money. Her interest lies completely with these breathtaking botanical specimens. She's never seen lettuce this healthy before, or with this many thorns, and is contemplating an article for the Journal of Royal Horticultural Society. Donna Villa, however, is only too willing to offer the indebted Sporifer a loan. I know the gentleman will pay me back, says Donna Villa. He's an old friend, and friends never disappoint friends, do they? That's why I have so many. They don't like to disappoint me. Okay, well, we'll visit the stables just in case. Let's observe the slugs. Each thoroughbred slug is worth more than its weight in rosy gold. The Neath slugs are a unique breed, bloated to a degree, approaching the preposterous. They are nevertheless ideal pets, more docile than crocodiles, more personable than boa constrictors, more durable than horses for long-distance competitive sports. Yet even the largest slugs found in the wild will rarely approach Donna Villa's thoroughbreds in size or speed. That might have something to do with the fresh lettuce that she feeds them every day, and the sheer quantity. This stuff probably costs more than the slugs. She has cheating lettuce. Well, let's watch the race, how the crowds roar as the slugs finally round the bend. Wow, the rubbery slug is definitely pulling ahead here. Before your eyes, grease rains onto the road. Buckets and buckets dumped by urchins scampering along rooftops. The zahir is coated more thoroughly than a lozenge rolled in a rat catcher's mouth. It blasts along the boulevards, slipping across oiled patches as the urchins rush ahead to pour more grease from balconies, from gables, from clotheslines that extend over the street. For heaven's sake, that slug must be travelling at 2 miles per hour now. You also watch the inveterate gambler drop a coin into an urchin's palm. The inveterate gambler sees you too, and tips his hat. Well, you may have cheated, but you're still behind. Oh, I mean, they've caught up to the rodent's revenge, which is where my money is. Okay, well, let's read the racing schedule. Slugs will be racing next into that perilous precinct where the marsh wolves prowl, the sorrow spiders nest, and the menace eradicators discharge bullets at blameless reporters. We would expect officers for your so-called professionals to better distinguish between vermin and innocent gossip columnists, whose loose shoelaces, we assure you, were solely responsible for tripping and concealing them in that bush just outside the department window. So let's go to Watchmaker's Hill. Let's investigate the competitors. I am curious about the robbery racer. Robbery men may have unfathomable agendas, but they always have agendas. You gain little by speaking with the racer himself, apart from more spittle to wipe from your face. Of course, there's a reliable technique to sidestep the language barrier: outright spying. When the robbery racer passes cafes, you're outside reading newspapers. When the robbery racer presses his tentacles against a bakery window, you're across the street, tying your shoes. When the baker's daughter chases the robbery racer down the boulevard with a rolling pin, you fetch the amber he drops. He's just dipped into Mrs. Plenty's carnival. You know where to snoop next. Ooh, how very interesting indeed. Okay, let's go to the carnival. This is taking us all over the place, isn't it? When he's not at the racetrack, the robbery racer is slinking around the fairway. I need tickets, which means I need to buy some tickets. Buy tickets for the carnival. I could always steal some tickets, but you know what? I'm an upstanding member of the society. I'm going to buy some. Now we have 10 tickets. Okay, so let's poke around the refreshment pavilion and treat yourself to some rubbery lumps while you're at it. Deep fried and fresh from the popping oil, these rubbery lumps are still twitching when you take a bite. Although the racer's nowhere to be seen, you overhear some rather juicy gossip as you chew. Really? The fellow who runs the Beneath the Neath ride allowed who to move what to where? When you ask the human cannibal to clarify that bit about suckers, she tells you a new one's born every minute. Perhaps. But you're certain those aren't the same suckers that she was whispering about with her colleagues. Okay, well, let's educate yourself with the anatomy exhibition. Miss Forward and Mr. Adoniform are gossiping about the Mollusca Tour de London. You didn't know the little factoids they share with you about rubbery anatomy. You didn't know the little factoids they share about human anatomy either. Of course, slugs are mollusks, and rubbery men are related to mollusks. Potentially, perhaps, according to certain radical taxidermies, the certain observations made by some auteur gourmands. The rubbery racer's interest in the Mollusca Tour de London is as natural as the rippling line between Mr. Adoniform's obliques and his abdominal muscles, and the sinuous maneuver that Miss Forward is achieving with her hips. Oh no, that behaviour was most definitely learned. So, all that's left now is to search the house of mirrors. Did a rubbery silhouette just slip inside? Oh god. You didn't realise your face was so long, or that you had so many fingernails, or that your knees could bend backwards like broken celery. There, around the corner, you chase a bobbing top hat. Watch it fractal into 100 top hats, 1,000 tentacles retreating and advancing and sliding across the walls and onto the ceilings, whose cracked silver panes reflect the mirrored floors, reflecting them. The rubbery racer darts through a doorway. When you attempt to dart through too, you smash into a full-length looking glass. Ouch. Well, all that's left now is to speak with Mrs. Plenty. What are you snooping about? It looks bad for business. You got questions? Ask me. Seems fair enough. Yeah, says Mrs. Plenty, snatching your tickets. I know what you're after. She counts them as a banker would count money. Alright, you've bought yourself a little chat. I can part with a few tidbits about on this rubbery bloke what's been slipping around me property. But come inside, the public don't need to hear it. You dip into her tent. She offers you a cigar. She clips one herself, blowing smoke that would clog Azalea's lungs, then props her feet atop a bulky burlap sack. You won't catch the racer now. He's gone underground. Downsize. I keep eyes on what happens in me establishment, says Mrs. Plenty. We got some odd fish round here, but as long as they leaves me alone, then I leaves them alone. Same goes for yourself, she adds, jabbing her cigar in your direction. Criminals? What criminals? Robberies? Who mentioned them? My business don't need extra legal attention, so let's hurry up. Okay, so let's ask about the robbery racer. Miss Plenty said that he's gone somewhere deep underground. Might be you've seen it, this chasm I've got in my backyard. Things is always slipping down, and worse than that, they're popping up. But what's a lady to do, besides turn a profit with a conveniently situated attraction? She hoists something bloated and wet and most definitely dead from the burlap sack under her feet. Are those suction cups? Is that a nose? Found this beauty lying about. Them robberies is breeding. Who knows what down below? Most people won't associate with them, but there's this tall gambling chap with a cane that keeps hanging about, making schemes with that robbery racer. What schemes? Don't ask me. I kicks him out whenever I catch him. Okay, well let's ask about the Mollusca Tour de London. What does the showwoman think of this drama played across London's own stage? Can't stand slug races. Never could, says Miss Plenty, picking something from her teeth. Too slow. A race should have more blood in it. She means that a race should make one's blood beat faster, doesn't she? Right, that's what I meant. And she can't tolerate the music. Always the same bloody tango. Donavilla's got to pipe it down the home stretch from her balcony each year. Good luck charm, she says. I've heard enough carnival tunes in my time, but nothing has addled me brains like that song. You'd swear that every minute lasts a week when it's playing. Ooh, so the music she plays may make the slug go quicker. It would explain why it wins every year. Well, let's leave the tent. Don't let a flap eat you on the way out, says Miss Plenty. You can take this away too. Call it a souvenir to remember the fun times at Miss Plenty's carnival, she says, handing you the dead thing from the sack. If an eel were jellied in aspic, it might feel like this. I ain't grown into a slug yet, but that robbery slug ain't the last stage neither. Just a test to breed something better, I reckon. Actually, now that I think about it, them robberies winning a race might be good for business. Get more customers into the anatomy exhibit. Ah, who am I kidding? Robbery men win when pigs fly. Like an unearthly fossil. Robbery men. How intriguing. Anything new at the... No? Anything new here? I want to mess with the music. Ah, here we go. Gossip with the carnelian smuggler. Criminals and gambling go together like crumpets and tea. Whether the gambling attracts the criminals or the criminals attract the gambling, you're certain to meet the most interesting parties whenever wagers are being placed, and to hear the most interesting things. You never knew the law could bend so many different ways. The mistake people make, observes Donavilla, is assuming that criminals and society are distinct demographics. More often than not, they're the same, and if there is a difference, society is usually more criminal. Not that we've got any criminals here, says the Carmelian smuggler. None whatsoever, says Donavilla. I only keep the best society. Well, I think this might be the perfect place to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and rate the videos. It's greatly appreciated. In the next episode, we will go to Watchmaker's Hill and we will advance the race to the next stage. But as always, let me know what you think if you're doing this. Let me know if I'm missing anything. But as always, I'll see you next time.